So, good evening, everybody. My name is Giulia Prette, and I make part of the Federazione Italiana Gatka, Gatka Italian Federation. Today, I'm going to present my work, Gatka, the Dance of the Swords and the Dance of Life. The Gatka is a Punjabi martial art, so it comes from the northwest part of India. It is called also the Dance of the Swords. And it was born in the course of the 17th century within the Sikh community. It starts as a reinterpretation of the most ancient techniques of Kalaripayat. And it was born as an extreme reaction to the persecution of the Sikh community on the part of the Mughal Empire. From this situation of emergency, and also because of the smallness of the Sikh community, we have the main features of the Gatka. There is a martial art mainly of defense, a martial art that can be learned in a short time, a martial art where you can use all the weapons and all as a weapon, where we have a 360-degree line of defense attack and multiple opponents at once, and often you can use two weapons together, so two swords, or sword and shield, sword and dagger, or two sticks, for example. So this last feature, so the 360-degree fighting, leads to a potentially infinity rotary motion. That is the essence, the peculiarity of this martial art. This means that the weapons rotate around the bent form of the number 8, and to do so, the Gatka revolves on his or her own axis, the spinal column. This means that the Gatka must be centered and balanced, both to find a permanent dynamic center of gravity and to keep in equilibrium the right side and the left side of the body. To do this, to keep in equilibrium both sides of the body, means that it has to keep in equilibrium the temporal and the spiritual components of life, the masculine and the feminine, the positive mind and the negative mind, the attack and the defense, the speaking and the listening, and the acting and the accepting. That is staying in balance with the duality of life. So we can say that the Dance of the Swords becomes and is like the dance of life, because the combat is like a projection of the communication and of life in general. In a very subtle way, we can say that this continuous motion of rotation in this martial art and repetition of the movements brings the Gatka into a state of ecstasy and meditation by movement. The word Gatka also means this, stop the mind or ecstasy. And in effect, the Gatka stops the mind and the emotions and brings to a state of intuition or meditation. In this research, we want to demonstrate that Gatka models the Gatka's personal space. That is the space we feel and create around ourselves. Because the Gatka teaches new spatial behaviors and the right distance awareness, depending on the weapons. So we can say that this new spatial perception brings together individuals on a higher 4 dimensions, where Gatka apply the combat to the everyday life. So it practices Gatka also in the work or in the social relationship or in the family. And this is possible because we know that space models life and behaviors model space. So they influence each other. Our tool for the evaluation of the personal space is the personal space assessment form. This tool starts with a test situation, an experience. We took 60 persons, divided into 3 homogeneous groups by gender and age. We have the first group, that is the Gatka group, where we have people who practice Gatka for at least 1 year. And the second group is the Yoga Kundalini group, so the same number of people practicing Kundalini Yoga for at least 1 year, and the control group where we have people who never practice nor Gatka or Kundalini Yoga. We put the subject at the center of a room, and we ask him to feel his personal space, and if he feels this personal space. If the response was affirmative, we asked him to give us the special coordinates, the precise coordinates of this space, and we measure the coordinates in all directions, so forward, backward, on the right, on the left, with a rule. And after that, we asked him to describe the space, to tell us if it was protective, suffocating, aware, defined, wide, narrow, pleasant, unpleasant, penetrable, unpenetrable, comfortable, uncomfortable, circular, sharp corner, hot, cold, full, empty, stable, flexible, regular or irregular, from 1 to 5. Here we have the results. This is the Gatka group. You have to imagine the person at the center of this shape, and the gray area is the personal space that the person filled. So this is the Gatka group, the first 10 subjects of the group. Here we have the yoga group. So we see that the personal space is a little bit smaller and irregular. And we also have, for example, the subject number 4 that didn't feel any kind of personal space. And here we have the control group, where the area is smaller and smaller, and irregular and quite absent. So, as results, we can say that in the Gatka group, the personal space has a wider area, and in both groups, Yoga and Gatka, the personal space has been perceived as more large, enjoyable, comfortable, flexible, and real. And the subjects of the Gatka group are more aware of their own space compared to the other two groups. In conclusion, we can say that the movements of Gatka teach new behavior perspectives. And we have a strategic evolution that allows the Gatker to bring the Gatka into everyday life and to bring the game, the ritual, and the spiritual of this martial art from the dance of the swords into the dance of life. Thank you.